Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're here at the Real Path Home Show. So hopefully you guys like that new name we've just created out of the sky. Barry is obviously co-hosting this wonderful weekly session. Barry, do you have words for the viewers before we get started?
Stay warm, stay safe.
Yeah,
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 and
yeah.
lock in.
I will be honest with you, Barry. I was really looking forward to having snow on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, yeah,
That was kind of a letdown considering I'm a 1980 baby, and we saw the blizzard of '96, and
right.
you
Yeah,
know, as a
yeah,
kid, it was absolutely fun. To go out and then have school days off. I mean, I think the kids aren't going to school tomorrow, but still, 2 days would have been nice, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, you're right. Like, make sure everyone is home safe. Don't try to go out. I know you bought up all of the bread and water and eggs.
empty off,
Friday,
empty the shelves, man. I'm
yeah,
trying to tell
empty the shelves. There is no Deer Park. There is no Ozark water. There is not even Dasani. And then when you know Dasani is off the
yeah,
shelves,
yeah,
it's bad, right? Because
yeah.
no one
So
drinks Dasani.
yeah, so I'm in Sprouts yesterday looking for because I'm on a Daniel fast. So
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
yeah, so I'm looking for Bonza pasta, right? Chickpea
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
noodles.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I know I'm gonna find out. I'm like, nobody's hunkering down with chickpea noodles. And
Yeah.
long and behold, there was none
No
on the
chickpea
shelf.
noodles. The DMV is something else. It's like a thing.
Yeah,
It's like a vibe. We all just go to the store and buy everything.
yeah, yeah.
So anyway, yeah, everyone stay safe, and I hope you, when you watch this, it's in the comfort of your home. This one is not technically live cast this week. It will be next week. We'll have a new subject, but this subject is kind of dear to, I think, both of our hearts. We have a lot of information to cover today, so I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully, you guys will still be able to see me. If not, that's okay too. You'll have a nice little presentation in front of you that Barry and I can go through. So just give me 1 second, and you guys are gonna see kind of my screen. One moment, entire screen, and there you have it. Barry, you see that, right?
I don't see anything on my end.
Do you see me or do you see the
I
presentation?
see you. I don't see your screen. It's a yeah.
Interesting. Let's see. Stop sharing. Because on my side, I can see that I'm sharing, but for purposes intended, let's try that one more good time. Let's see here. And if not, I'll just talk through it, right? Like, no worries. Chrome tab. I'm just gonna do what I know, which is we're just gonna share the entire screen, and hopefully it'll come up. And if not come up, then guys, you for sure can request this presentation. We will have roadmaps available for you guys too. So if any of the information that we covered today is not like really vibing with your brain, that's okay. We got you covered. We'll have like a simple guide for both of the home programs that we're talking about. So let's get started. The Real Path Home Way with Barry and Shayla. It's a weekly real estate rundown. This week in particular, the subject is Pathway to Home Ownership in Prince George's County and others. And it's all about equity, timing, and transition. The big idea here is home ownership is not a single route. So for example, in Prince George's County, families reach homeownership through different structured pathways, and that's really depending on income profile, employment, and housing position. Would you say that is true, Barry?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so today we're walking through two distinct and legitimate roads that lead to the same destination. And what is that destination? Is to have for you to have keys to your brand new home, right? A new home to you. And for us, we want to look at what does these pathways look like. And a pathway, if we were to define it at its most smallest level, is a design sequence. It's not a shortcut. So what does that mean? It has eligibility rules, required preparation, professional guidance, and of course, you're going to get a defined outcome. And so today's program is to really allow you to understand the correct pathway to save time and protect long-term stability. So I want to start there first, just really getting that definition. And I'm going to kind of switch it over to you with regards to your pathway one, which is so we're going to start with pathway one, pathway two. Pathway one, it's Barry's Lane. He's going to talk about how he supports first-time home buyers who's purchasing in Prince George's County, and probably perhaps beyond that too. It focuses on capital access, so not rental status. Barry, would you like to take over?
For sure. And that was well said, Shayla.
Thank you.
And also, you're showing frozen on my end. Just FYI.
That's not good. That's not good.
It could be something to do with the snow.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But no, so yeah, like Shayla said, purchasing a home, there's different avenues that we could take to make sure it fits your unique scenario situation. And so one of the programs that recently just got a huge upgrade is the Pathway to Purchase program, which is in Prince George's County. So if you're purchasing in Prince George's County, you could potentially utilize this program just to help with cost of down payment and closing costs, or if you wanted to put more down to bring down the mortgage payment, there's a chunk that we could use that for, so that we could try to make it as affordable for you as possible. So Prince George's Pathway to Purchase gives up to $50,000 towards your down payment and closing costs. And I'm going to repeat that again. It's up to $50,000. So you don't automatically receive a full $50,000. But there is a calculation and strategy that we can make sure that we maximize the most that we can get from Prince George's Pathway, right? The biggest thing is to get this process started as soon as possible. As soon as the thought comes in your mind about buying a home, you want to be reaching out, to me or to a lender to get the process started, because there's a lot of things that we have to cover just to make sure that this will work for you, right? So there are certain requirements based on your income on the household. The way the program qualifies you is there's income limits, right? And it's based on your household size. So if you have a one-person household, meaning it's just yourself, then we will qualify you based on the household income for that is $91,800. So if you make less than $91,800, then you would qualify for this program. And so we go up to a total of 8-person household, which is $173,000 per year is the max that you can make on an 8-person household. And speaking of households, this is anyone that's going to be living in the house that's over the age of 18. So we would calculate their income as the household, even if they're not going on the loan. If they're living in the house and they're over 18, we have to use their income to qualify for this program. Not to qualify for the loan, but for the program. Okay. Also, there are price restrictions, so you cannot exceed a price point of $448,000 if it's an existing home. Okay, so there's, like I said, there's so many things that we want to look at to make sure this is the right fit for you. One thing too to keep in mind, that anybody that's living in the home also has to be a first-time home buyer, right? So if you had someone that purchased before, but they're living in the home with you, like if say for instance you got married, your husband owned a home or your wife owned a home prior to the marriage, and it hasn't been beyond 3 years since they last owned a home, then you wouldn't qualify in that scenario. Okay. Yeah. Another couple of things too. There are some nuances with the contract itself. So they suggest that we use a 60-day contract, meaning that we have 60 days to close. Now that is the recommendation. And the reason being is because they need 21 days to process the loan. Okay. So if we try to do a 30-day close, that 21-day window might get, we'll be cutting it very close, just because there's appraisals, there's, internal underwriting that we have to do, there's inspections all sorts of things that needs to take place before the package can be sent over to them. All right. So they recommend, but if we move swiftly, we'll put a strategy together. Sometimes we can do it in 45 days.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, right. But just keep in mind that if we don't give them 21 days to process, for some reason that we're delayed for some reason in sending them the package within that 21-day window, that could, delay us further as far as the closing date, because they're going to want those 21 days. Okay. But other than that, the program is pretty straightforward. It's just like any typical first-time home buyer program. The credit score, they don't have a minimum. We just go off of what the lender can approve you with. So typically, if you have like a 580, typically is the lowest that we can go. But with going that low, we're going to need some compensating factors, such as like high assets, meaning that you have, money saved in retirement or money saved in your checking or savings account, or an investment account is what we're typically going to need in order to get that approved. And also having a 12-month rental history that we can verify, and there's no lates. So those are some of the compensating factors that we can use if your score is at a 580. So we typically want to try to help you get the best terms. So once you talk to me and I take a look at your credit score, if there's something that I see that we can tweak and address in order to improve your score, I'm definitely going to recommend that to you so that we can get you the best terms, best rate. Interest rate impacts your mortgage payment. So we want to make sure that, we're putting you in the best position to win as a homeowner and as a new homeowner. Let's see, what else do we have to cover here? So this loan is forgivable after 10 years.
Okay? Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And the cool thing, go ahead. Shayla.
No, I know. I was just saying some of these programs, like if you sell it, like you have to pay it back. So that's good to hear that.
Yeah. So after 10 years of owning the home, your loan would be forgiven. So if you got up to 50,000, that 50,000 would be forgiven. Also, the cool thing is that each year within that 10-year period, that the amount that you have to repay reduces by 10% each year. Right. Okay. So if you stay in the house 5 years, right, you're going to pay half of the 50,000. So you're paying 25,000. So you don't necessarily have to pay the full amount back. It's but if you complete the full 10 years, you don't have to pay anything back.
That's good. That's really good. That's good to know.
Yep. Another thing too is that so anytime you sell the home, or if it's not your primary residence, or if you refinance and cash out refinance, then you would pay the money back, right? But we are able to subordinate the second loan if you just do a rate term refinance. So I know a lot of people think they're locked into this loan, for the 10 years, and they can't refinance, can't take advantage of rates dip. But with this, you can subordinate that loan without it impacting your chances of doing a rate term refinance.
That's good. That's good. And just for current rates, what are the currents? I know it fluctuates sometimes. Is it stable, or did it go down again?
No, so it's volatile. It's up and down. Shayla. It's it's very reactionary to just commentary and how investors feel. Right. So, a couple of things to look for to kind of see what rates are doing is if you ever see the stock market take a dip, what that means is that most times the investors are taking their money out of the stock market and putting into bonds. And one of the bonds is mortgage-backed securities that they'll start buying. Right. And so when they do that, then that's good news typically for mortgage rates. Okay. So that's one of the telltale signs, but really the matrix are a little bit fuzzy right now that we typically would follow, in order to determine what direction interest rates are going in. So it's really about the commentary, the condition of the world, economically is really going to impact, where interest rates are. So,
right.
Yeah. But to answer your question, right now, For conventional, we're hovering right about 6.75 as of last week. And then for FHA, we can go probably about 6.49, 6.5%.
I
Yeah.
feel like the 675 went higher from the last
Yeah.
time we thought.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
at one point we was at 6.25. I think we was at
Yeah.
6.25 recently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So,
definitely volatile right now, for
yeah.
sure.
So there's a lot of movement, not to get political, but whenever the
Right.
president comes up with, a good idea, right?
Mhm.
That could shift us, so,
Yeah, 100%. And
um,
especially what's going
yeah,
on nationally. Can't
yeah,
forget
right,
that.
exactly,
So
yeah,
it's a lot of things
yeah,
going on which
hmm
affects it indirectly but directly at the same time. Especially even just for like the buyers too. It's
yeah,
affecting all of us. And so
exactly,
we have these programs like you have today to help us pivot,
hmm
and try to buy things, buy a
yeah,
home for ourselves and our families.
yeah.
So yeah, I like it. I like it. Anything else that you want to add to that, by the way?
Sure, yeah. So
Sorry, I
one
didn't
of
mean
the
to cut you off.
yeah, no problem. One of the qualifications for this is also completing an 8-hour housing counseling course.
Okay.
Right? You could do it in person or online. Most
Okay.
people just do it online.
Online. Mhm.
But I find that this is very helpful because I've actually went through it myself just to see what the
Good.
buyers
Mhm.
are doing. What it takes, and it's a lot of good information.
Mhm.
To help prepare you for home ownership. Because it's more than just making the mortgage payment each month. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
you have to get the home inspected. There's upkeep, there's maintenance to the
Mhm.
home. So that it really helps you understand, what you're getting into before signing your life away for 30 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even us
Yeah.
for real estate agents, I went through that
Mhm.
program. I went through the MMP program
Yeah.
11 years ago or 12 years ago when I bought my home. And I know a lot of new real estate agents, they love the industry, but they don't know the industry very well.
Yeah.
So to personally walk through a program such as that, you 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 don't just acknowledge your buyer, you're
Mhm.
right there alongside of them because you've gone through it as well. So I think having these mandatory uh programs for your buyers is not just even help for them, but it's helpful for the agent and then also the loan officer to go through these
Mhm.
programs too.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Because our goal always is to make sure we're giving you enough information so that you can make a good decision.
Absolutely.
As the buyer. So, we want you to be aware of every ins and out. Because sometimes, buying is not, it's not the right time for a person, right?
Right.
Once they learn that, oh wow, like I have to pay. I had a first time home buyer asked me one time, is the utilities included in their mortgage payment?
Oh, so
Right, right,
cute.
yeah, yeah,
That's so cute.
yeah, and so so she wasn't really, she was thinking that this was just the only thing that she would have to pay, and I
Mhm.
was like, no, there's so much more, that you have to account for as a homeowner.
Yeah.
I remember when my wife and I bought our first home. Within the first month, we had to get a tree cut down. Right, there was like
Mhm,
this bad
mhm.
windstorm, and the tree was just way too close for our comfort.
Yeah.
And a large branch fell. And it was like, we got to get this cut down. New
Mhm,
refrigerator. Um, and then there was some, maintenance stuff, cosmetic stuff we wanted to do. So
Yep.
it does take, some reserves, some cash,
Yeah.
to have.
Yeah.
So, it's not about just getting into the home,
Mhm.
and rushing the process, but really taking your time, making sure you're in position financially to sustain. Yeah.
And sometimes I think it's tough on buyers and also real estate agents because you have some real estate agents who they totally rely on this income. So they kind of
Mhm.
push buyers to make
Yeah.
decisions that they're just not ready for.
Hmm.
And that's why my name is the helpful realtor because I
Yeah.
don't like to push because I realize everyone is not on the same rhythm as you,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it's almost like double dutch. You kind of have to jump in where they're at
Yeah.
versus kind of like, hey, come on where I'm at because I need to pay my water bill
Yeah.
or whatever. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure you have an agent who is patient enough, but
Yeah.
also aggressive enough. So
Hmm.
when you're ready to make that commitment that they're there for you, because you're absolutely like when we bought our home, I had to put a whole new roof on the house.
Wow. Yeah. See? And you just never know.
So
Like you can't
you
call
never know.
the maintenance man or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You got to call the bank.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, so you do
Increase my
have
credit
to,
card limit.
yeah, right. Um, so we do, and even like it's snowing now, like, and we're supposed to get ice storm. Like, I
Yeah.
am prayerful that we don't have a tree fall in the house, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
might be some people's storylines today, and if you have to have those reserves, or maybe have a really good sibling that can help you out,
Yeah.
or call
Yeah.
the bank.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
One or
For
the
sure.
other. So you do
Yeah.
have to have a reserve for sure.
Yeah. And also just a plan overall,
Yeah, for sure.
And so, yeah. So, and I can contest to your how you're a helpful realtor, right? Because you and I, we had to help navigate a client
Yeah. Yeah.
through an unforeseen challenge that
Oh
no
man,
one
yeah.
yeah, no one knew was coming our way and
Yeah.
interrupted us. But we had to advocate for him, and
Mhm.
and make sure that he was still able to get what he needed
What
to
he and what he
purchase his
wanted
home. Yeah,
too. What he
yeah, and
wanted
what he
to.
wanted. Yeah. So
Mhm.
but yeah, so that's most important, is to make sure that everything just fits perfect. Well, it may not be perfectly, but it's close to perfect
Right.
as possible. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else to that program?
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much
Okay.
the gist of it. The main thing is, like I said, just getting with a loan officer as
Mhm.
soon as you have the thought um, about buying a home, right?
Mhm.
That way we can discuss all these programs to make sure that you can qualify. So a lot of times I get agents send me referrals. I'm like, they want to use the $50,000. I'm just like, okay, it's
Mhm.
available, but we need to make sure that this actually works for them. And also there is one more point to this. The program has specific debt to income ratios that we cannot alter. We don't have no flexibility with at all, right? And
Okay.
so debt to income ratio is basically us taking your debt and your gross income, and the max that we can use of your gross income and debt is 50% in most cases. FHA
Mm.
will allow us to go a little bit higher to 56.
Mhm.
But to me, I don't like taking my clients that high, just
Yeah.
because you're really pushing it as far as being able to afford the home and
Mhm.
things outside of that, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so they have 30. So 35 is the housing ratio, which is the front end, right? And so basically, what that is your income versus the proposed mortgage payment. Okay, so
Mhm.
that can't exceed 35% of your income. The new mortgage payment cannot exceed 35% of your gross income. The back end is 47. Is capped off at 47%, and that's your all your total debts plus the proposed mortgage payment, and versus your gross monthly income. Okay, so with all your debts combined, so your car payment, your credit cards, student loans, any personal loans you have, will go against that back end ratio, which is capped at 47%. So I say that to say, if you're looking to purchase a home, try to eliminate as much debt as you can.
Mhm.
Um, bring down those credit card balances. If you're able to pay more on your car loan or whatnot, try to bring those down as much as you can, because that will impact how much you can qualify for.
Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's switch over to Pathway 2, which is a little, I don't listen, and I've been in the industry for 20 years.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this existed. Okay, so I'm not
Mhm.
too cocky to say, hey, I didn't know this, right? Like,
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
learn some things new every day. But when I do learn these things, I like to share it with my audience and people who can benefit from it. And I'll tell you how I learned about this program. Um, so first of all, the program is the Housing Choice Voucher Homeownership program. This is a program that serves current housing choice voucher holders. And Barry, can you see my screen? I'm still trying to get it to work.
Yeah. So
Am I
you're
frozen?
yeah, you're showing frozen right now.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let me try this one more time. Like I said, and I don't know. Hopefully, when we get the recording, we'll be able to see what it looks like.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna still navigate verbally uh, what the program is. But I would like to share my screen just because it's like so pretty.
Yeah, you did a good
Um,
job on the slides.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And it's like not wanting to share. Okay. What about now? What do you see now? I'm just curious. Am I frozen again?
You're frozen again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try this one other move and then it's gonna be final destination with this and just roll with it. Let's see this one. Like I said, if it doesn't show this time, Hamnashita means no worries. What about now? I'm just curious. What about now? Am I frozen
You're
again?
frozen. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So I'm going to be okay with being frozen just because if it is indeed showing to the viewers, that would be great because it is a nice presentation.
Yeah.
So and then I'll come back. I'll unfreeze in a bit. Okay. So if you guys can see this as viewers, that's great. If you can't, that's okay too. If you just want to listen to my soothing voice, that's great too. So again, this pathway, which is a different one, it serves those who are current Housing Choice Voucher holders. It focuses on transitioning from rental assistance to ownership support. Let's pause there because you're like, what? I can have a voucher and own a home? Yes, in layman's terms, um, it will pay some of your mortgage. Let's talk more about that. So I am in contact with a housing authority member. So I do have a contact with them. And when someone is ready to go through the process, just let me know. I'll put you in contact or speak to your housing authority specialist directly. So let's begin. So with the program, here's the overview. The Housing Choice Voucher homeownership option allows eligible voucher holders to do three things: use their voucher support towards homeownership costs, shift from landlord based assistance to home ownership assistance, maintain housing stability while building equity. And that's that third one is really important, while building equity. So this pathway is again administered by the Housing Authority. Okay. The current programs, it's a couple navigations around it. So the current program supports family who currently again receiving a housing choice voucher. They have to meet employment and income requirements. They have to maintain good standing with the housing authority, and they must complete required education, almost like your program, Barry.
Hmm.
Okay. So the big thing about this program, it honors continuity. The process is as follows. The voucher holder confirms the eligibility, okay, with your authority specialist. Now, after that, they are required home ownership counseling. So you got to complete that. Then the buyer secures mortgage approval. That's when Barry steps in, or anyone else for that matter. The housing authority approves ownership use. The voucher support shifts from rent to ownership. And this is housing stability pathway that is great for those who have the vouchers. Now, some important distinctions by design from like berries to the voucher. Obviously, these are two different types of clients, but the destination is still that sustainable home ownership, right? So there's different eligibility criteria, different administering entities, different financial mechanics, but at the end of the day, you're in a home, your home, and that matters. That absolutely matters. Barry talks about, and I actually agree with him, just making sure financially it makes sense for you. And, when you make these decisions, you have to make not just hothead decisions, but really, truly strategic decisions. Your timelines have to become realistic. Your expectations must be grounded, and your outcomes must be durable. We want to really use clarity as a leverage point and not a note in the back of your mind. And how do we do that? We do that through guidance. So every pathway that we talked about today benefits from a mortgage expert like Barry, a real estate strategist like myself, program knowledge, and timing awareness. And, both Barry and I agree that home ownership is probably the strongest way to equity, right? And for
Yep.
legacy for your family. And if you plan to have children, for that too, or anyone that you plan to give to upon your passing. I'm going to technically stop sharing, and I guess for you, Barry, I'll come off of my my frozen moment, and hopefully that the viewers were able to see it.
Mhm.
But that's a little bit about the housing voucher for those listeners who are going to see and hear this program. We do have a form that Barry was so nice to put together that if you're interested in either pathway, you're going to fill out the form, yeah, and then we'll get in contact with you on what your next step is. Just make sure when you fill out the form at the bottom, I think it says, do you have any more questions? Just make sure there you indicate that you are interested in going to, I'll call it the Barry Pathway program, or you want to do the voucher program, right? Because they both, again, have two distinct ways of getting you through the door and having your first home. I love the voucher program because I've never seen it in that light. So it's good to see that, that you can change from,
Yeah.
being just in a rental status
Mhm.
all of your life to saying, hey, I own a home, right? And being
Yeah.
proud of that too. It's a
Yeah.
proud moment, especially for many communities whereby, having a home is not something that you typically see in families. But as decades change and as things change, we're starting to see more communities have the opportunity, different opportunity, distinct opportunities to own homes. And it's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing to have, to have that that peace of mind that it
Yeah.
cannot be taken away from you, right? Unless you allow it, unless you don't pay things, right? But it's a little bit different than
Yeah.
rental. So that's all I wanted to share. And Barry, any last minute things for us? We at the 33 mark, which is a good
It's
good
good.
place.
Yeah. No, I would just say, let's keep the dream alive. If you're thinking it,
Yeah.
if you are, just even in passing, like, always just reach out to us as a resource with questions. Reaching out to us doesn't have to be scary. We're not going to make you
Right.
feel like, has to be done right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
all about you getting the information, things that you need to know in order to take the next step or decide if you want to take the next step. Okay.
And I think the biggest thing too,
Yeah.
I feel like they don't want to share emails and telephone numbers. They think we're going to
Mhm.
spam them. Honestly, I mean, I don't have time to spam people. I don't
Yeah.
know about
Right.
Barry, but I don't.
Certainly
I'll
don't.
tell you, I'll tell you a really delicate, nice way that actually helps out our algorithm, and it helps you too if you want to stay anonymous, or not anonymous, but don't you kind of want to interact with us, but not really. Go ahead and follow our Facebook and our Instagram pages. I have an Instagram and I have Facebook. It's the Helpful Realtor. I think on Instagram is MD Helpful Realtor. And Barry, you want to share your social media?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm on Instagram as Mortgage by Barry. So mortgage underscore X underscore Barry.
And
Yeah.
that's an easy way that if
Mhm.
you see content like this, that you can like, share, and subscribe and comment. We love comments. So if you're up at 10:30 at night, like this on your phone, scrolling, just scroll
Yeah.
to our page, right? This will also be on our YouTube channel. which is, I think it's The Helpful Realtor TV. I think sometimes, so depending. So I think I started out The Helpful Realtor, and then I moved to MD because I'm dealing with Maryland. But then people were like, "Hey, are you a doctor?" I'm like, "No, I'm a doctor of housing." How about that?
Right.
Because I could deal with Maryland homes and Tanzania homes. So sometimes even on my page, I'll post homes in Zanzibar. People find that really unique positioning because they've never seen what a house looks like in Zanzibar.
Yeah.
Let alone getting like a little tour of it. So, I think what we have to offer is very valuable for people who need the resources and toolkits. So with that, I yield. Barry, you want to close us out?
You asked me to pray, or what we doing?
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with prayer. I love a good prayer. Let's bow our heads. Come on now. You on this fast? Let's do the good. Let's do the good Lord's work.
We definitely pray. God opens up doors, open up opportunities, open up resources, and honestly, just send the Holy Spirit to lead us and guide us in any decision that we make. The Bible tells us to seek first the kingdom of God and all of His righteousness, and all these things will be added to us. So we just pray right now over everyone that is looking to purchase home. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. And with that, we'll close out. We'll see you next time for our next subject. I'll try to do a better job posting the subject. It's been a lot of things, but we're being consistent, so that's good. Last week we talked about what did we talk about last week? How open houses, and I think it was the interest rate had dropped, right? I think we talked about it last week. This week is about homeownership, and tune in for next week because you'll never know what we're going to talk about. We'll post it to our Instagrams and our social medias so you guys can stay in contact with us. Like, share, and subscribe. See you next time on The Real Path Home.
All right. Bye. See you guys. All right.